Hey, how you doing, everybody? RC Powers F18 V3 day today for me out at the field. I've got my my trusty old 300 plus flight F18 V3, the one that sort of really got things started for me months ago, and really pushing different build techniques, and tested a ton of motors, flying light, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, Stephan Moran, SG Moran, and I have worked together for the last month or so. We did a bunch of mods on the MiG-29 V3 and the FRC Foamies SU-35. So I thought today would be, or I thought it might be an idea to play around and try a few of those things on the on one of my other very favorite park jets, the F18 V3. So you can see this one here with my my very styling blue painter's tape paint scheme. I have a paint scheme in mind for it, but I was so excited to get it flying and to test it that I haven't painted it yet. So anyway, set up here. I'm running 6 servos on this, with 2 for elevons. I'll just flip it over here so you can see. Put her down gently there. So I'm running elevons. I ran all my push rods and servos on the outside as much as possible to keep the prop wash back here a bit cleaner. So I've got my elevons, ailerons, and you already saw the rudders on the top here. And also I ran all of my my hinges, rudder hinges and everything on the outside, because I wanted to keep this prop wash area as clean as possible. You can see on my older one here, I've got a bunch of corruption there. But hey, she's flown so great for me, and I don't think I'll ever have the heart to retire it. So you probably have already been able to tell big differences here. I downsized the elevons to a more scale size. In relation to the wing, they're about 85% of what stock was. So what I did basically was I went to the tiled plans, printed them off at 85%. In order to get this hinge line here, I moved the nozzles in on both sides about 1/4 of an inch. Pardon me, played around with these angles here. But anyway, I've already got a dozen flights on it today, and I'm really pleased with how it feels. The wind is a bit tricky today, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you any sort of slow speed, high alpha type stuff just yet, and I'm still kind of getting it dialed in. But and I also went with inboard ailerons. These are actually, since this is sort of based on the F18 EF Super Hornet, these are actually in relation to where the flaps would be on the Super Hornet. But they're giving me plenty of roll authority. I went with deeper rudders, about 1/4 of an inch deeper than what I have here, and I left the top piece here sort of a more scale thing. I also stiffened these with, as you can see, a carbon rod actually on the outside. These ones don't have any in them, and you can see what I was noticing, especially in high alpha. This one here especially was just flopping around like a fish out of water. So but what I've noticed here so far is with this stiffener here and bigger rudders, that these are almost like super rudders now. So it's going to take me a little while to get the throws and the expo dialed in on the rudder so that I don't over control. So anyway, today I've got elevons only. I've got 100% throw on the on those. I've got on a switch right now, I've been playing with elevons and ailerons together. I've got the ailerons mechanically reduced by 50%, and I've only actually, to keep the rolls scale, I've reduced the throws down as well to about 75%. And I think I've got 50% expo here and about 60 there. So we'll shut those off. I've also got spoilers. I've been trying to play with it a little bit in the wind, and the wind is just a bit too tricky today. I don't know if you can see the flag flapping, but anyway, it's a bit too tricky today for me to really evaluate, because even without spoilers and flaps, you know, trying to bring the nose up and do high alpha, I'm getting bounced around. So I have, right now I got spoilers, I also have flaps. They're about 40%, and then if I leave the aileron function in, I can have flaperons and spoilerons. And I've also, just for fun, I've been playing with kind of a V-tail mix, which I'll hopefully show you. Don't really think I need that today, to be honest with you. So I'll be taking that mix out of there. I think I've got all the pitch authority I need, even though the elevons are smaller without V-tails. So I know this has been done before, and looks like it's being done on the MiG-29 V4 as well. The KF here I've got extended all the way up to the front along the leading edge extension. Because I like how sleek it feels, I went with a symmetrical, hopefully you can see that, I went with a symmetrical leading and trailing edge on all the control surfaces. I thought I was being really smart and extending this back so that it was 50%. Stephan and I have been doing a lot of discussing. So I'm 50% at the end here, but I forgot to measure in here, so I'm actually only 44% of cord in here, but I've got, you know, tons of KF out front here. But anyway, it flies great. So anyway, so we'll toss her in the air. You know, just remember, these is very subjective. It's how I feel, or how I like how the plane feels and my flying style. I certainly don't have any wind tunnel or anything else to test any of my theories here, other than what's the most important to me and probably to you is just how it flies at the field. So here we go. Let's give her a whirl. So I'll start off with just elevons only. Helps if I have some power. So not bad. It'll still, you know, it'll still turn okay, but that was full full deflection on the roll there with ailerons only. So, or sorry, with elevons only. Great punch out. I've got the Focal Price 2700 motor in it, so I'm just going to turn my ailerons back on. So that was just a half, see if I can't bring it a little closer here. That's just a half deflection with ailerons and elevons working together. So we'll do a little, so that was a full deflection, sort of a full deflection, full throttle, you know, sort of flip loop there. So still tons, even though only 85% elevons, I think still tons of authority in the pitch. Ooh, easy trigger. What I do like though, compared to the stock one, is I don't find as much when I am doing that, like that was just slower speed. When I'm doing a full deflection on the elevons, is I don't find as much turbulence and as much drag. And it doesn't have as much of a tendency to do a thrust vectoring stall, where the elevons start to act like air brakes rather than elevators. So we'll slow it down here. So I'm at about 35% throttle here. Nope. Bring her back. Still plenty of authority, so I'm just going to turn the V-tails on here. So yeah, I don't think, I definitely don't think I need V-tails. I find actually, because the rudders are so big that when I've got the V-tails selected, that not only is it ridiculously tight in, you know, those silly little flips, but I find that it actually causes the tail to drag down a bit, you know, with so much control surface in the slipstream. So we'll see if we can. So there's with flapperons actually deployed. Oh. A little too close to the tree there. So again, similar to the MiG-29 M3e3, as Stephan and I call it. What I'm liking about these smaller control surfaces, again, just my preferences, I find that my control of the plane and my feedback is more precise, you know, because like I said earlier, I don't find I've got as much, slow it right down here. So I'm at about 35% throttle here. Whoa! Ah, you're silly. A little tail bump there. Too fun. Anyway, so like I said before, you know, I find that I'm not, so this is just some high alpha with no lift devices. There. So the extended KF once again is a real winner. You know, the KF out on the LERX, real winner, gives it a lot more overall stability. Again, you know, the F18 is just so darn forgiving and I need to remember to fly it properly. I've also found, you know, that with the extended KF along the LERX and the smaller control surfaces, it seems to be, and maybe the reinforcement in the vertical stabs, it is handling the wind much better. I have a 2200 battery in here, so I'm getting, you know, good weight and stability. I'm a bit disappointed in myself because even without the paint, I ended up a little heavy. So I guess I must have got a little hot glue happy on the reinforcements. So very, you know, even with the smaller elevons, I find really can get very aggressive in the pitch, and like I just tapped tapped full up elevator there, and you know, it just snapped right away. But again, I don't seem to get the drag and the turbulence sometimes that I did with the stock one. Well, battery feels like it's starting to get a little tired, so. Ah, nice. So another thing to get used to with less drag and probably the aid of the extended KF out on the LERX here is that it does glide a lot better and a lot further than the stock one did. So you know, landings are a little bit longer, but it still glides exceptionally strong and exceptionally smooth and exceptionally stable. So very pleased with how these little mods turned out. You know, just kind of tweaking it. So anyway, I'll post some stuff on the RC Powers forum. Still got a little bit of sanding work to do there, so it looks a little rough. But anyway, I was so darn excited to get it out flying that those kinds of things weren't terribly important to me. But boy, it sure performs great. It dialed in right away. I'm right on the stock CFG, so right about there. Oops, right about there for my CFG. And battery. Let me just show you here. I actually got very lucky. My battery is almost you know, dead center, right on the center line, and I've got quite a bit more room up there. So if I wanted to, on a day when it's calm and I'm not wanted to really do some ripping around and aerobatics, I could probably still fly with a 1600 or 1800 battery, you know, and still have it balanced. So anyway. My favorite plane just tweaked, or one of my favorite planes tweaked just that little bit more. So thanks very much for watching, and just love the RC Powers F18 V3.